I want to open this video with a statistic, and that's going to be that over 5.4 billion people use social media, yet loneliness is at an all-time high. And I am somebody that's extremely extroverted, and even I, because I live in a house by myself, even I find times where I feel lonely. And if you can relate to that as well, then I think this video is going to be for you, because look, dude, if we look at the reality of today, there's most people today we're like friends online, like on social media or on like video game lobbies like Xbox or Steam for PC. And I think the world is transitioning from like in-person interactions. Like if we go back in time, I'm 30 right now. I was born in 95. So if we look at like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, before the internet was created, how did people meet? How did people hang out? They had to in person. They got to hang out with each other in person and create those experiences together in person. And I mean, I think you can even agree with me when I say this, that there is a significant difference in talking to somebody like online and then actually being there in person with them. That's two different experiences. And so like if we look at like social media, for example, like if we look at my Instagram, I think that I send reels to a very few people, like a very like specific group of people. It's like, I think it's like 3 or 4, and those are people that I would say, because like before I say that, the older you get, like if you're in your younger 20s right now, you might think that you have like a lot of friends, but I'm 30 years old, and I can tell you, the older you get, the less friends seriously that you start having. There's only 2 people that I've spoken to on a consistent basis recently, and that's going to be Nick and then Jessica. And then Jessica's married with the family, and then Nick is married with the family. So even then, like I don't even hang out with them. I just talk to them online. Now if I see them at the gym, then I will talk to them. And so I'll do that. So like I used to hang out with Nick a lot, Nick and his wife Maddie, before those two got married. But now that they're married with kids, when you get older, life just takes over. So where I'm going with this is because especially the younger Gen Z crowd, they're on their phones, like they're fucking glued to their phones like this all the time. And when I was in high school, to be relatable to you guys, man, like when I made friends, or when I talked to most of my friends, it was like over the Xbox. And if I had a girlfriend, well, then I would just hang out with my girlfriend, and then that would be it. Like I would hang out with my girlfriend, I would go home, I would play like Call of Duty or Gears of War with like my buddies at the time, which I think was like Matt, Julian, and Corey. I'm sure there's a couple, Kevin, maybe a couple other people that I'm thinking of. But I think what's going to help you the most in this video is like, if you're somebody right now that experiences that feeling of lonely, if you're like me, it's from time to time. If you're like me, it's from time to time, and it's when I'm really not fucking busy enough. And if you're a man watching this, I don't care how old you are, one of the being a man is like finding something you're passionate about in life, and then working to build like a business or a career out of that. So if you're just somebody as a man, little bit of like life coach Mitchell here, that doesn't have, like, if you're in college, that's fine, because you're going to school to hopefully get a job, even though college it's a scam, it's a business, depending on what you're majoring in. Like if you're in business, for example, that's a waste of fucking money. I work for myself. I didn't go to school. I got arrested for a DUI that's no longer on my record, but like I work for myself. I don't need I live in a house by myself. I drive a brand new Mercedes Benz. I don't need college. That's what I'm saying. But if you're like a doctor or like a lawyer, like, yeah, you gotta go to school for that. So if you're in college right now and you're surrounded by younger people and you're partying and stuff, you might not experience that little bit of like loneliness. But like, what if you're not in school? What if you're like younger or older and you just find yourself by yourself a lot of the times, or sometimes, and you do experience that little bit of loneliness? Well, if you're a guy, one of the best ways to get over feeling lonely is by going and working on something that you're passionate about. And then women, you guys have big bigger social circles than men naturally. So all you guys have to do is just phone up one of your girlfriends and just talk to them, and you guys are feeling better. So women have that advantage right there because you guys nurture relationships more than men do. However, let's talk about what I did for the rest of this video to maybe say it like this. So when I get that feeling of being lonely and I start getting in my head and I start getting down in the dumps, I'm gonna tell you what I have started doing to get rid of that feeling. Because what if I don't have anything I want to do for work, or I don't know what I should be doing for work? Well, that feeling's not going to go away even if I do find something to stay busy. I could play video games, but again, that feeling's not going to go away because I'm still in my house by myself, not fucking talking to anybody. And the whole point of this channel is, if you're new here, is just to help people develop better social skills so they can have more and better relationships. And I'm very extroverted. I can talk to a wall if I wanted to. So what I did is, whenever I got that feeling, I would notice, or I started like noticing a pattern. When I'm at the house, like on the weekends, for example, and like, I'm not in a relationship now, but like when I was with my girlfriend, we would go hang out with her and her sister for a little bit, or we'd do stuff, just my girlfriend and I, so I was always doing something. But now it's like, okay, well, I can go to the gym, and that makes me feel better while I'm at the gym. But like when I come home, I'm still like, man, it's the weekend. I want to do something. I want to hang out with people. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I get in my head and I'm like, dude, what do I do? So that's, I think, where the loneliness comes from, is when you're by yourself and you don't have a way to occupy your time. Now, if you're somebody like me that enjoys connecting with other people, another cause of that is, not only do you not have anything occupying your time, so you're bored, but you're not connecting with another human beings. And human beings, if we just look at human beings in general, I don't know if I think it's more of like a biology perspective. I'm not a science major, so don't quote me on that. But we're built to connect. We're literally built to connect. So if you know attachment styles for dating, people with avoidant attachments, they prefer to be by themselves because they've been hurt by too many people in the past. Well, that's just not, they've conditioned themselves to believe that, but humans are built to connect. So if you prefer being by yourself, that's not normal. So what did I do? What did I do? Well, I used to hate going and doing, and I'm in a wheelchair, guys. You can't see it, but I'm fucking paralyzed. I'm picking myself up. I'm paralyzed, man. So you would think that I would have a harder time going out in public, just because you would think that I would just hate that people look at me for being in a wheelchair. I don't fucking care. So I've got a dog. I've got a long-haired European German Shepherd. He's a show dog, so he's really pretty. Whenever I go somewhere with him, I always get attention with him. He's like having a pretty girl with me 24/7. So I had to start practicing leaving my house and doing stuff by myself. So I would go to like a restaurant, or not like a bar, but I did that one time, and even I was like, why did I do that? But I went out, there's like a place over here called Ed's. It's like a little sports bar. I would take the dog and I would just go to Ed's and I would just hang out, and I would get him fries and I would get a beer too, and I'd people watch, and half the time I would talk to people, half the time I wouldn't. And so that's what I had to start doing. So right now, if that's the first step, is if you're feeling lonely, the first step is you have to be able to learn how to be okay by yourself. And listen, me leaving the house, and how that correlates is, if you're lonely and you get depressed, you might freak out or you might get uneasy. But if you're okay being by yourself, well, you might still get lonely and you might still get like anxiety or whatever by being alone, but you're not gonna be run for lack of, like, you're not gonna let that like anxiety or whatever like control who you are. I didn't know how to word that, so maybe that's a bad example. But if you're comfortable being by yourself, then like if you're in a relationship, for example, you're not gonna freak out at your partner for going and doing something like with their friends or by themselves, and that would make the relationship much better. So what I'm doing here is I'm teaching myself that I can live my life by myself. I'm teaching myself that I don't need other people to be like with me in order to feel good. So I've got notes on my phone and stuff that I want to talk about. So that's the first step, is like I would have to practice. And I say practice because like I it's literally, you have to practice over and over again, leaving your house or your apartment and going into the real world and doing stuff by yourself. Now it's because you would think like if you go to a restaurant by yourself that it might be like really awkward. And in full transparency, I just, because I'm in a wheelchair, I can bring my dog with me. I just bring my dog, so like I have somebody to focus on instead of just sitting on my phone the whole time. But even if you don't have a dog you can bring out in public, it's cool. Like if you're gonna go to like a restaurant or whatever, you're gonna see that when you're there, if there's a lot of people around, that you can just people watch. And it's actually like, you're not gonna sit on, like, don't sit on your phone, just people watch. Talk to your server when your server comes up. Talk to them for a little bit. Ask them questions. And then, like, if you have a dog, then you might have people talk about your dog or ask you about your dog. They might come up to you. But where I'm going with that is like the first step to learning how to be okay is to go out in public, and then you're gonna think it's weird at first, but once you do it, you're gonna be like, that dude, that really wasn't that bad. Now, I wanted to say that, like, depending on if it's a really slow, like if there's nobody at that restaurant, well, you're gonna be bored out of your mind, and now you're spending money when you could have been at home not spending money, miserable, like bored and depressed. So if you are gonna go somewhere in public, go to a place that you enjoy, so that way if there's not like a lot of people there, depending on when you go, you're still going to enjoy your time. Now, from there, once you start getting into the habit of learning how to like be by yourself, you're like, okay, cool. Well, you know what? I want you to get to a point where you can be like, hey, I can take myself out in public now, and I'm out in the real world. There's other people around me, and I don't feel uncomfortable or awkward being out by myself. I want you to develop that first, because that's going to tie in to the rest of the video on learning how to like meet new people and build like friendships and possibly get into a relationship, or just you'll be like, I'm teaching you how to get rid of that lonely feeling. And not only that, the byproduct of learning how to get rid of this lonely feeling is you're going to meet more people and make more connections. So the next step, after you've gotten used to taking yourself out, and just do this like once or twice a week, guys, that's all you got to do. From here, the next step is now we got to start saying stuff to people. And this is where a lot of you guys might not be able, like, I think this is where a lot of you guys are going to be able to hesitate. Like, oh, I don't want to talk to people. Well, listen, dude, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable and talk to people, well, then you're going to be lonely for the rest of your fucking life. If you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the future, and you're just not, you want somebody to come to you first. Now, if you're a girl, then a guy is more than likely at some point in time going to approach you. But if you're a guy, for example, I mean, listen, I like to think I'm a good-looking dude, and I've only been approached by girls in the past year maybe less than 5 times. All the other 100 of girls that I've talked to, I went up and approached first. So I want you guys to start practicing after. Okay, so step 1 is go out in public. Step 2, now we got to start saying stuff to people. The easiest way that I have found to do this is just by giving random compliments. I don't want you guys to start talking to people. I'm not going to teach you guys how to have full-blown conversations in this video, but this next step that I'm going to tell you how to do is actually the first step that's going to lead you to making like more friends or talking to more people. And I'm going to explain why I say that, because you don't need to learn how to have full-blown conversations with people in this video to start making more friends, because you're going to see what I'm going to tell you from my experience. You're naturally going to meet more people. So when I say giving people compliments, there's a reason why there's 2 reasons. Number 1 is when you give somebody a compliment, whether it's a guy or a girl, you're based, like, think of it like this. You are giving somebody a good feeling. And I have countless times now, I have been like at a grocery store and I've given a woman a compliment, younger and older. I had one woman come up to me crying, telling me that she was so glad I said it to her. And I had another younger chick that looked closer to my age that literally was like, dude, I needed to hear that so much. She's like, I've just got so much shit going on right now, and that just made me feel so good. So that's what I mean, is like when you give people compliments, you run into the chances, or you increase the chances of you saying something to somebody and they really appreciated that. So not only are you giving people good feelings, number two, by giving somebody a compliment, you are opening the door to a potential conversation, if there's a conversation to be had in the first place. What do I mean by that? Well, from my experience, guys, now listen, from my experience, can I force a conversation with people? Like, I can give them a compliment, I can ask them a name, and then I can ask them a question, I can start talking. Yes, that's the logical steps. Compliment, ask for the name, ask them a question, now you're in a conversation. However, I've noticed that framework, like, kind of just happens on its own. And this is one of those things where you're not gonna believe me until you experience it. But I think every one of the girls that I've asked out in the past, Jesus, I don't know, I think a year maybe, the conversations with these girls, when I gave them a compliment, they kind of like, one of us just kind of like said something out loud, and next thing I know, we're in a 20-minute conversation. That's what I mean. The conversation wasn't forced. It just kind of like happened. Like, I would give a compliment to somebody and then they would say thank you, but they would say thank you and then they would add on a little bit of extra words to that, and then I could respond to that. Or they would say thank you and then I would say, yeah, you're welcome, but and then I would say something like random, and then we'd somehow be in a conversation. That's what I mean, guys. That's why I said, like, if you learn how to go out in public by yourself, be comfortable doing that by yourself. That way, when you're feeling lonely and you want to get over that and you want to start, like, if you're lonely, you just don't have anybody that you can talk to or hang out with. That's what it comes down to. Well, by learning how to take yourself out in person by yourself, well, now you know you can leave the house. And then when you start practicing giving people compliments, guess what? Even if you suck at talking to people, you can, depending on who you're talking to, they might be able to lead the conversation. They might be able to. So now, by you giving somebody and I'm not saying you have to sit here and talk to them, but that's what I'm trying to say, is when you give somebody a compliment, half the time I give somebody a compliment and then I just keep it pushing. I'm just fucking, hey, that outfit looks great. Oh my God, thank you. Yep, you're welcome. Have a good day. And then I'm gone. That's what happens for the most part. But what I'm saying is, when you learn how to do this, now you're teaching yourself, hey, I can actually talk to strangers, and then I'm giving them a good feeling. And then Mitchell's right. The people that I talk to, it kind of just happens. And then when that happens, this is why I really emphasize you guys to do this, man. Because when you start talking to strangers, whether it's your server, whether you brought a dog with you or a cat and somebody's asking about it, because I've seen someone bring a cat out in public, or if you're by yourself and you give somebody a compliment, when you just start talking to people, you're going to like leave to go back home at the end of that night or the end of your trip, and you're gonna be like, dude, that was fucking awesome. You're literally gonna be like, I feel so much better now. Mitchell was absolutely right. This is all I had to do in this video, and now I feel like if I'm ever lonely again, well, I know it's just because I'm either bored or I don't have anybody to talk to. So all I got to do is just leave my fucking house, and there's always going to be like a little bit of like a barrier. You're going to notice when you think about leaving, you're not going to want to do it. But when you get in the car and just go, you're going to be like, okay, I'm already committed. We're doing this. Where are we going? And then you're gonna pick a spot. And then when you get there, you're like, oh man, dude, that was so easy. All I had to do was just get in my car and drive. So your brain is like gonna literally fight against you, dude. It's the most annoying fucking thing ever. You're like, man, you're stopping me from wanting to go and better myself. I don't know why the brain does that. But when you go out in public and you start talking to people, you're gonna see, dude, this is literally the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. This is one of those videos from that Mitchell film that I'm so glad that I watched. because now you're not going to rely on doom scrolling fucking social media and sending reels to your friends that 95% of the time they're not fucking watching anyways. So when that happens and you start feeling lonely, instead of sitting here fucking feeling bad about yourself, leave the house and go do what I just said. Go somewhere in public, start complimenting somebody, and just try to compliment as many people as you can, even if it's just one person. Tell yourself, okay, literally, if you're new to this, tell yourself, okay, I'm at this restaurant, I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna compliment one person. That's it, just one. Say you're giving your brain a task. What you focus on expands. So when you go into that, here's the easy way to do it. When your server is taking you to your table, if you're going to a restaurant, I want you, when you're passing by somebody, because you're walking by them, that's when you would say, hey, excuse me, hey, I'm getting ready to be seated, but I just wanted to tell you, your outfit, man, you look awesome. Your outfit, girl, you look phenomenal. And then just keep it going. And then guess what? You hit your goal. You hit one person, and you're gonna see, wow, that really wasn't that bad. Mitchell was right. When somebody's next to me, I can just look at them and say something, and I don't even think about it. And then now you hit your goal, and then you just repeat that. And then when you say it to the first person, the next person's gonna get easier, and then the next person's gonna get easier. When you compliment like one or two people and you start talking, you could look at somebody and the thought of talking to them isn't even there. You just start talking. You're warming up your social muscles. And this is gonna get you. I'm burping right now. Sorry. And this is gonna get you out of your head. And that feeling of loneliness, it's not gonna be there, guys. So this is how I was able to like stop doom scrolling on Instagram. That's how. And I'm not saying I was ever like, I've always been social. Well, when I go to the gym, I talk to people. But I mean, like when I'm not at the gym, like today, today's Wednesday and I'm filming this video for you guys. I don't know when you're going to see it, but I don't go to the gym on Wednesdays. So I'm going to be at my house all day today. Well, guess what? When that feeling creeps up, if it does, or if I get bored, I know I can just pack the dog in the Mercedes and go somewhere. And if I see somebody out in public that I want to say hi, like a girl in a cute outfit, I'm going to fucking say something to her. And I've done that before, at like the grocery store, for example, for you guys. I was in an aisle with the girl and I said something to her. 30 minutes later, I have her phone number and we were talking. That just made a connection right there. So now I got somebody, and we're not talking anymore, but at the time when I was talking to her before she moved upstate, now I had somebody that I can talk to, man. That's how you get over that feeling of loneliness, guys. So look, man, I'm going to finish the video with this. If you're somebody right now that has like friends, if you can call them that, on like if you like stream and you talk to a chat, or if you send reels to like people you used to hang out with or people you text but you never hang out with in person, or like if you're somebody right now that doesn't hang out with anybody in person, then one, I don't think you have real friends. So like Jessica and Nick, if I wanted to hang out with Nick, I could probably just text him and plan something with like him and the boys that I used to hang out with, or like him and Maddie, his wife, or Jessica. I've been wanting to meet her husband for a long time. So if I really wanted to plan something with them, I could just message her and I'm sure I can make that happen. But if you're not in the position to where you could do that, and you don't have a romantic partner that you can hang out with, and now don't that even then, because you don't want all of your time and energy going to your romantic partner. You're going to push them away. They need space. You need to have your own life. So if you're someone right now that doesn't have any friends in person and you want to change that, this video is going to tell you how. It's simple, but you have to learn how to start being okay by yourself. And if you get lonely by yourself, it's either because you're bored and you don't have anything to occupy your mind, or you're feeling lonely because if you're like me, you don't have anybody that you can talk to, anybody that you want to talk to, I should say. Like if I don't have a girl that I'm dating, and because I go through like spurts where I have a lot and then nothing, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't really have anybody to talk to. It's Wednesday. I want to hang, or I mean, it's Saturday. I want to hang out with the girl right now. If I don't have that, or in whatever position you're in, go out in public somewhere. Go say hi to somebody. Go talk to somebody. Ask them how their day is. And when you start talking to people, you're gonna notice you're gonna start making more acquaintances. So like if you start talking to the staff at a restaurant that you really like, you're gonna be able to go to that restaurant, and now you're gonna be able to say hi to the people that work there. So you're gonna talk to somebody no matter fucking what. And then when you leave, you're gonna be like, wow, man, I got to talk to people. Mitchell was right. Now I feel better. I'm great. Okay, guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, listen, depending on when you see this video, it might be out, it might be not. But I am offering 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching where you can work with me directly. You'll get my cell phone number, and then we'll do one-on-one like accountability calls every week live. I'm giving the first 3 people free access to this program because it's like a beta offer. So if you're somebody that may be shy or introverted, or you're struggling with confidence or social skills or really anything in life when it comes to like having more relationships with people, and you want to fix that, work with me. Like I said, this is free. I will charge $2,000 for this whenever the full program does come out. And here's why I'm doing this. First 3 people get to work with me for 2 months for free in exchange for video testimonial if I get you the results that you want. So if that's something that you want to do, by the time you see this video, guys, there should be a link in the description. If not, it will be at some point in time. With that being said, guys, hey, if you like this video and you want to keep improving your social skills, check this video out right here, man. You're going to enjoy that one as well. And guys, hey, I'll see you in the next one.